Hi there everybody, this is your old friend Eddy Mailbag. Jim and Lillian have asked me to do them a little favor. They love bringing you the roar each week, but it's really a lot of work. They don't like to ask, so they asked me to ask on their behalf. If you like the roar and enjoy your time with Jim and Lillian each week, there are 2 things you can do to help. First of all, tell all your friends about the roar. Secondly, go to the official roar website at www.republicofavalonradio.com and click on the PayPal button. Any contributions would be greatly appreciated. I'd go and do it myself, but they won't pay me, so I have no money. Come to think of it, when you make your contribution, include a note saying that it's for me, Eddy Mailbag. Then maybe I can drop a tip into the tip jar myself. Well, thanks to everybody for listening. This is Eddy Mailbag signing out. Aloha!
I have no hamster for you. By 14. It was, as it was told, a long time ago in the future, where people did not know they were there, but of course they were, unbeknownst to even the others. 14 was sitting on the wharf, binding his own wisdom, when all over Sudan the desert turned green and grass was everywhere. What would they do? How could they sell the missiles? They had no idea, so they retreated and formulated another plan. They would convince the tall people to hate the short people, and the short people in turn to hate the tall people, by a series of cleverly hatched plans. They would scheme to divide and conquer. So, with the grass being green and the desert being lush, the people would still kill each other. 14 did not know what to do. He considered his possibilities and instead reached into his pocket and pulled out a can of worms. Affixing one worm daintily on the hook at the end of his line attached to his pole, he began to fish. By day's end, he had caught 14. So, it can be said, we pursue ourselves, whether we are aware of this or not. 14 went fishing for fish and caught 14.
Sono lieto di poter rievocare in poche parole le esperienze delle prime trasmissioni radiotelegrafiche a grandi distanze da me felicemente eseguite attraverso l'Oceano Atlantico il 12 dicembre 1901.
Holy snapping bra straps.
It's a podcast. Republic of Avalon Radio. It's 0 hours Avalon Standard Time.
Big shout out to Republic of Avalon Radio. This is Adrian. I'm living in St. John's and I'm having a good time.
Hi, this is Shawn Fulford from Torbay, Newfoundland, and you're listening to Republic of Avalon Radio. You're with the roar.
Hi, this is Jim Fidler from Aliquippa, Pennsylvania, and you are listening to the Republic of Avalon Radio.
We are the kids from Stand-Up Radio. Stand tall and stand for something. Republic of Avalon Radio. You're with the roar, yeah.
Hi, this is Eddie Grant, and you're listening to the Republic of Avalon Radio. Take your time.
We're gonna rock down to Electric Avenue, and then we'll take it higher. Oh, we're gonna rock down to Electric Avenue, and then we'll take it higher.
Republic of Avalon Radio.
The best radio in the whole wide world.
You're with the Roar!
Woohoo! Republic of Avalon Radio, you're with the Roar. I'm Jim Fidler, and welcome aboard to episode 54, Studio 54 of the Roar. Roaring at you from the heart of the Republic. Fascinating, isn't it, that we are at episode 54? I'm sure most of you are quite stunned and startled. It's two beyond a full deck. Of course, episode 51 being one shy of a full deck, but that's a whole other issue for a whole other line of conversation. And seeing as this conversation is so entirely one way as it is, I'll choose to leave it at that. Yes, indeed. Well, here we are. It is summertime. It is July 2007. A great big, hearty, heartfelt hello to all our friends in the distant future. And I'm not just talking about, some of you who might not get a chance to listen to this show till next week or the week after or next month. I mean all our friends, on the Mars colony and the Moon colony as well. Let's not forget those guys. I know you guys get it rough sometimes, but what the heck? It could be worse. And to our friends living in the undersea areas as well, since the mutant wars and all that stuff. So glad to have you aboard. Glad to know you're listening in your various points, scattered all about the multiverse. And I might as well say hello to all of you now in the present as well. Good to have you aboard. And a big thanks to those of you who have stayed subscribed to The Roar. And as I have mentioned before, those of you who aren't subscribed, go on over to our website, republicofavalonradio.com, and see how you can subscribe to Republic of Avalon Radio for free, for absolutely nothing. It doesn't cost you a thing, so there you have it. A big shout out to Jeremy Hartley for sending us a shout out via email. Great to hear from you, Jeremy. Good to know that you are still alive and kicking and floating around out there somewhere. Jeremy is the host of the Whole Note podcast, upon which I was featured at one point. He did a 2-part interview with me a while back, and I actually re-aired that here on The Roar. So those episodes are back there for you to go back and find. And in case you didn't know it, if you're one of these people who just keeps going to the website and clicking on the little headphone button, all you're really getting is the latest episode. Of course, all the other episodes are there as well, all the past episodes. But we really do recommend that you subscribe to the show in iTunes or by clicking on the download on the website at republicofavalonradio.com and the Juice player, the Juice podcatcher thingy. You can download that for free and install it. The point being, you can have all the episodes as they come delivered right to your computer, and depending on what you're using in terms of an iPod or an iRiver, any sort of portable MP3 player or whatever, which you have synchronized with your computer, your desktop or your laptop or whatever, of course, all that stuff will all be done automatically for you, and you won't have to keep going to the website and seeing if there's any new episodes, which could get pretty annoying, I think, if you were subscribed to any number of podcasts. If you were subscribed to 15 or 20 or 30, I can't imagine getting up some morning and having to go to 15 or 20 or 30 websites and to look and see, what the latest date is on. That defeats the whole purpose of podcasting. The whole point of it is it gets delivered to you. That's the whole joy. That's the advantage to this whole thing. And of course, the major advantage is you can go portable and not have to listen to the same 40 classic hits or the same 40 whatever
over and over on your radio, or you don't have to listen to Bill O'Reilly or Rush, whatever. All that stuff. That's the nice thing about podcasting. It's some alternative material, alternative content. And just as people tend to range from swell to not so swell, so do podcasts, and so does pretty much anything, I guess. But there are some really good podcasts out there floating around. I guess I could mention a few of them, but if anybody wants me to send them my OPML file, just let me know. That, by the way, in case you're wondering, let's say in Juice, there's a feature under the file menu, Import OPML. And what you would simply do is this OPML file that I would send you has all my subscriptions in it. You would simply click on Import OPML file, and then navigate to the file that I send you, which will be called, Jim Fidler subscriptions.opml. You just navigate to that, browse to that, and click OK. And pachunga. You go back and look under your subscriptions in Juice, and woo, lots of new stuff. So I'd be more than happy to send my OPML file to anybody who might be interested to see what podcasts I'm listening to. And I'm not even listening to all of them. That's the thing. Some podcasts are very much the same each episode. For example, one of the ones I really like quite a bit is the tech guy, I guess it's called, Leo Laporte. And every week, every Saturday and Sunday, he does a show, and it's very interesting for anyone who has any interest in things computer or TiVo or cell phone, any kind of multimedia stuff, anything that has a chip in it, basically. That show is pretty consistent. It's the same thing every week. But something else like In Our Time, which is a BBC podcast, one episode might be about something that interests me, and then the next 10 episodes just might not interest me at all, because the subject is completely different each show. There's a couple of ones in there that are old-time radio feeds, and they don't tend to be very active. But if you're just not into any old-time radio stuff at all, then you could just delete those. So I would suggest that if you do request my OPML file, import it into Juice, and then just go into the subscriptions area and look down through. And the ones that you know for sure you're just not going to be interested in, clean them up, hit the delete key on them. And otherwise, I would say, enjoy. Hopefully there might be something there of interest to you. And that's the whole thing. But as I was saying, podcasting, that's the nice thing. So you can have all this stuff coming to you automatically, and you don't have to keep looking. And it's a beautiful thing. We like it here. So this week on The Roar, we have for you a segment that we pretty much called Nothing. I think we called it Nothing, as far as I can recall. So that should be interesting. That'll be a whole lot of something about nothing. Hope you particularly dig that. And in the midst of that, we included a submission that was sent in to us by Cynthia Bennett, who had a little experience, or a couple of experiences actually, that motivated her to write a song, as us musical types tend to do when we look around the world, and from our experiences and our observations, we tend to get motivated to create these lyrical / musical pieces from time to time to either sound our delight in whatever we're observing, or perhaps to blow a whistle, or just even just gripe and moan from time to time. That's fun. That's fun to just complain. So I don't know that Cynthia's going to make $1 million or $10 from this song that she wrote, but it's here for you on The Roar for your enjoyment. So look forward to that. And that's pretty much it for the Roar this week. This is just our kind of lazy July 2007 sort of, not to say this will be the only one in July 2007. Obviously, it's the second one now. There will be more, kiddies, have no fear. But it's just kind of status quo, holding down the fort, July 2007. Yo, big ups. Shout out to the Roar peeps, and a general motivation to the massive. That's pretty much it. And why not just get things kicked off with a little bit of music here. Let's go back to the year 2000, which makes me think, 2000. Remember that Y2K thing? That was quite interesting. The world was supposed to blow up and all kinds of havoc was supposed to break out everywhere. And of course it didn't. So we're all still here somehow. And it's 2007, which means we're only 5 years away from the next potential cataclysm, 2012. I'm sure many of you have heard about that, the Mayan calendar, and it stops at the year 2012. They kept quite a big calendar, and it just seems to run out at 2012. So we'll have to see what's on the other side of 2012. If there's nothing, then my big hello, my big shout out to all the people in the distant future was a complete act in futility. But let's hope that's not the case. Let's hope that the Roar, as I speak right now, is rocking the Mars colony. You're out jogging, listening. Well, you wouldn't even have to listen on a device. At this point, it's probably an implant. I'm probably speaking to the Borg. Hello, Borg. And, yes, and if Big Brother's watching, I hope he gets an earful. So there you have it. Let's kick off with some music from the year 2000 from my Friendly Fire CD. A little song that I wrote, basically just to kind of, props to a local pub here. See, pubs, some of you might not quite know, but a pub is not exactly the same thing as a bar or a tavern or anything like that. It's not just about the beverages. It's about the music and about the conversation and the whole social thing. And pubs also tend to be more generally all-age kind of things. So you have people from 19 to 99 interacting, and you never know who you're going to run into. And that's the nice thing about pub culture. So if you go to Montreal or you go to Toronto or go to Boston, you go to Singapore, you go to Dublin, you go to London, just find a good pub, and your chances are you're going to meet very much the same type of people generally in all these places, because it's that sort of thing. It's pub culture, I guess we call it. So this one here is just a little sort of props to a particular spot here in the heart of the Republic, and the name of the song is Hospitality's Pavillion, and you are listening to Republic of Avalon Radio.
There's a little place that I know that you'd be going to if you know where to go and how to find this little spot. A dandy little hole in the wall around the corner from the bottom of the alley where the young'uns go to hop. The beauty in the eye of the beholder is a factor that I would be quite remiss if I were not to make a note. But I'll tell you that she's charming, and don't find it too alarming when I tell you that it's just a place to lubricate your throat. Number one in the land, everybody give a hand. Number one in the land. Well, from Sunday until Saturday, you'll never opportune to stray into another cabaret and have a better time. They'll greet you with a smile, and before too long a while, you'll be void of any guile and approaching the sublime. You'll see all sorts of faces on all different kinds of places, but you'll never find a trace of anything that can compare with the one out of a million Hospitality's Pavillion. Just a place to get your fill in if you haven't got a care. Number one in the land, everybody give a hand. Number one in the land. about the point that I've related to you in this little song. You'll need no hard persuasion if you find the good occasion to frequent this little station, then come tell me that I'm wrong. I've seen the pubs in Boston and the little bars in Austin, and I've done my share of waltzing through the streets of Montreal. But there's not a place that's half so grand as this little place in Newfoundland. With tunes and points to beat the band, she stands above them all. Yes, sir! Number one in the land. Everybody give a hand. Number one in the land. Everybody give a hand. Number one in the land. Everybody give a hand. Number one in the land. Everybody give a hand. Come on. Number one in the land. Everybody give a hand. Number one in the land. Everybody give a hand. Yeah. Number one in the land. Everybody give a hand. Number one in the land. Everybody give a hand. Number one in the land. Everybody give a hand. She's number one.
Hi, I'm Bob McDonald, the science guy from CBC's Quirks and Quarks, and you're listening to the Republic of Avalon Radio.
Republic of Avalon Radio.
Radio for lazy people who don't want to do nothing.
You're with the roar!
All right, well, here we are. This is the Absolutely Nothing segment. The absolutely about nothing, nothing about nothing. A whole lot of nothing about nothing segment.
I have nothing to say.
And she has nothing to say, so I think we'll keep her in this segment, seeing as though this is a whole lot of nothing about nothing, and she has nothing to say. So go ahead and say it, please. That was brilliant.
Thank you.
And she's true to her lack of word.
I do digress.
Everyone digresses. Why do people digress?
Because they're kind of that way, built that way.
Why don't more people gress?
What does it mean to gress?
I have no idea. It must be the opposite of digress.
To digress. How about regress?
How about congress?
How about...
You know, congress, actually, when you think about it, is like the opposite of progress.
It is. It's funny, yeah.
A little bit of information for our American friends there.
That's very interesting. I think if you were going to set up a new style of government, you'd want to call it the
progress.
The progress, yeah.
Yeah. And then there's democracy.
Yep, and
all kinds of things and things.
There's another one too, but we can't say it.
No, we can't say it because it's not whatever you call that, pod safe or whatever. Yeah. What is pod safe?
Pod safe is
what is a pod?
It's kind of like putting a condom on the show.
Yes, it is kind of like that. Condominium. Condemnation. That would be an interesting country with a very low population, I'd say. The condemnation.
Oh my.
Yes.
I gotta be on my toes all the time with you.
Especially when we're talking about nothing.
Yeah.
You see, folks, we didn't have anything to say, so we decided we would just hit record and talk about nothing. Because, in fact, that's what most podcasts are about, in case you've not noticed. Most podcasts are really fundamentally about absolutely nothing.
Yeah. And I guess that's better than...
Something.
Something.
It could be a really bad something. Better
be.
for it to be about nothing than about some really bad something.
It's true.
We could be talking about, starving alien babies or something.
It's never nothing anyway, is it?
Well, what is nothing? Is it zero? And if zero is nothing, then how come it's higher on the integer line than -1?
Exactly. So
zero is actually one more than -1.
I guess digressing is going into the negative numbers.
But that would be more kind of becoming a reciprocal to something else, really, as opposed to
backing up into nothingness.
Right.
So why do people bother?
I have no idea. I know. Let's go for a little tour around the house.
I've already done that before.
Did you?
Yeah, people.
Okay.
People have taken notes so that when they break into the house,
okay, great.
they'll know exactly where to go.
Okay.
And of course, people listen to us leaving the house and walking downtown.
Mhm.
All you have to do is just kind of time it out, and you could just perfectly find our house by just taking that walk in reverse.
They'd have to be pretty clever and motivated.
It could be done.
Yeah? Would you play it backwards?
You might want to listen to it and kind of take notes and time it, and like sort of notice where we, go here, go there. When you hear us mention, okay, we're near Big Bite now, and all these things. But we try to keep it very tricky, We sometimes we walk really slow, and then we walk really fast for a minute, and just really so that if anybody tried to find our house by listening to one of our walking segments, they'd be hard pressed to do so.
Yeah, sometimes we walk in a circle.
Sometimes we walk in a circle, yeah. We actually live about 30 seconds from the pub.
Yeah, that's right.
We just go out and walk around and around the block.
Walk around the field.
Yeah, round and around. Well, that's a bit of a giveaway too, the field.
Yeah, 'cause there's like the path with the crunch crunch.
Yeah, so
or
that's...
no sound at all. That means we're on the grass.
That's
we're
right.
giving you hints now.
We're giving you hints. Hints. Hintses.
And if you play it backwards, there might be a very important message.
There could be. In fact, play this next segment backwards. I will say something here now, and I want you to play it backwards, okay? Adam and Eve, Adam and Eve, Adam and Eve. Play that backwards and see what it says. And to the person who plays it backwards, the first person who plays that backwards and gets in touch with us and tells us what it said, we will send you a copy of Midnight Rover by Jim Fidler.
Cool.
Yes.
Yes. That's a...
But you have to tell us what it says.
Yeah. I'm going to go and do that, too, because I don't know what it means, what it says.
I do, though.
You do, though. Yeah, I can
do.
tell you. Yes.
I discovered it a long time ago.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
How about the combination Loch Ness Monster? Huh? What do you think of that?
I like it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
They call him Nessie, or her Nessie. Is it a he or a she?
I have no idea.
I guess it must be a he.
It's probably a he.
Otherwise it would be the Loch Ness Monstrous.
That's right. He or she must live a long time.
And eat much, much, much elbow macaroni.
And get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Hey. What are you implying? She touched me on the gut when she said that.
No, I was trying to get you to back up a bit.
But step away from the
mic
Lillian.
was getting awfully close to me.
Step away from the Lillian.
Let's go out this way.
She's hoodwinking me, folks.
Here we go. Into the studio.
We're in the studio now.
Oh, let's show the folks some sound fonts.
Some sound fonts?
Yeah.
No, it's too tedious.
Okay.
It really is. It's too tedious. Loading each one. Okay. I'm trying to use this for the first time in my life, this program called Hotspot Clicker. And I did what it said to do. I installed it, and I loaded up the application, and I pasted the stuff into the blank file, and I went save, and it said error or something, blah, blah, blah. So I can't get this thing to work. So if anybody out there uses Hotspot Clicker, it can tell me what I'm doing wrong. And the program that I'm trying to use is SFZ is the program, because that little nasty little load button can't be gotten at very easily, at least. And I have to get Lillian to click on it, and then I have to select a sound font and everything. So anybody out there, please, if you've tried this before, if you haven't, either which way, you don't necessarily have to have tried it yourself. Just as long as you know the answer, the combination for the
combination Loch Ness Monster.
That would be very helpful.
That would be very helpful. Then I could load my own sound fonts. And I want to make sound fonts. That's the thing, the ultimate thing. Oh, someone's done something bad. It's probably somebody like standing on a sidewalk or something.
When you hear that siren, it's not somebody that did something good, is it?
Wearing a T-shirt with grandmother in Irish on it or something.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Oh, speaking of which, check this out.
Airport security. It's a lovely concept. I want to feel safe on airplanes, but I thought it was a bit much when 2 times in a row they detained me on suspicion of me being a terrorist, and myself a grandmother of 8. The first time I had a grandchild with me. They thought my hold all was suspicious. They wanted to search it. They're looking at my documents, they're questioning me. They're flinging things here and there. My granddaughter's saying, "Oh, Nan, don't let him do that. You could have underwear in there." Hush, you don't have underwear. But you could have. I just saw your pajamas fly over. Finally, the man reaches into the hold all and he drags out a bottle of scent. "What's this?" "Givenchy organza. I'd let you borrow it, but you'd smell like a girl." Well, they keep it up, and I'm losing patience. Finally, the man gets right up in my face, and he says to me, "I could detain you for hours." So I get back up in his face, and I say, "All right then, boy, come on. Bring it on, let's see what you're made of." He let me go. The very next time, I'm careful. No metal anywhere on me. No hold all. Nothing to make him suspicious. But I had a sweatshirt that said grandmother across the front in Irish. They didn't know what that meant. They thought it had to be suspicious and was probably the name of a terrorist organization. Well, they search me, they pat me, they question me, they search me, they pat me, they question me. Nobody's having a good time with this except for the fellas leaning out the door of the airport bar cheering them on. They kept us up until I just wanted to scream, "Madam, there's no contraband in that bra, it's in the other one." But I didn't. I did what all musicians do. I got even. That was the birth of the airport security song, which you'll be listening to right here on the Roar, Republic of Avalon Radio. Oh, Paddy, this airport's a powerful sight, with security working by day and by night. They didn't catch terrorists that I could see, but they got 3 old ladies with bottles of tea, saying if those bad bottles had happened to slip, the people might all have gone down with the ship. But for all this protection, I'm wishing that we had decided to travel by land or by sea. My sweatshirt in Irish grandmother did say, but they thought it suspicious and took me away. They couldn't translate it, so they did insist that I must be a dangerous terrorist. Asking who's this Shawn short hair, what is his plan? If you don't confess, from this country you're banned. Well, after some hours, I finally was free, vowing next time to travel by land or by sea. There's men, dogs and x-rays here, no one is kind, for they'll search you and pat you in front and behind. You can't take your toothpaste or shampoo or comb, and they'll seize your old fiddle, so leave it at home. The food is atrocious, the seats are too small, the movie is boring, if there's one at all. They can keep their old flying, I'm swearing that we in future will travel by land or by sea.
السلام عليكم، أنا الكبير هليلي من بني ملال في المغرب، وكتسمعوا للراديو ريبوبليك of Avalon.
Republic of Avalon Radio.
Either you're with us or you're with the terrorists.
You're with the roar!
All right, well, thank you much for that, Cynthia. That's kind of an ear-opening sort of experience to have had.
Mm-hmm. Yes, the airport security song. Real experience.
Yeah. I think they're a bit insecure, if you ask me.
I'd say.
If they had more confidence. So maybe we should try to just big them up, you know? So all you kind of security people out there, big ups.
You're doing swell. You're swell people.
You're very confident you can do it.
Yes. Don't worry, we're not going to do anything to you or hurt you or...
No, that's right. And everything.
Yeah.
So big ups, security peeps. All right?
Yes.
Okay. Good. So now, of course, they'll just feel really good and relaxed and confident and happy with themselves, and they'll leave people alone wearing shirts with grandmother in Irish on them. Hopefully, anyway. Folks, can you hear the wind in the trees, the breeze in the trees?
The trees are out in full bloom.
Oh, jumping Germans. What was that?
That was just a gust of wind, I think.
It was a gust of wind. A gust. What is a gust?
Gust. Gust. Sounds like a little bit of an angry breeze.
What else can you have gusts of? It seems to me that if we're going to come up with a whole word, it should be more versatile than just being applied to wind. Can you have like a gust of friends? Or
do you know that I don't know exactly how many words, but there are a lot of words for snow, apparently.
Sure there are.
Like 100 or something for snow?
Well, I think in Inuktitut,
yeah.
there are several words for snow.
Yes, many.
Because when you think about it, snow isn't just snow. It's various stages of somewhere between water and ice, and depending on the state that it's in, it could bear a different name, so that one would know what kind of snow is out there, and whether to wear kind of this type of undergarment or that type of lodge hat.
We have a lot of different words for we talk about the weather a lot.
We have a lot of different words for lodge hat.
For lodge hat?
Yes.
We do.
Yes.
Okay.
You know, with the grand poobah and all that stuff, and the secret handshakes. Yes. We have mason jars, folks.
We do.
Free mason jars. Yes. So what do these masons need to be freed from? Satan, I think. They need to be, yeah. So Freemasons, I don't get it. Of course, they run the world. We all know that.
Yeah. And what does it have to do with, masonry, which is like
nothing.
Bricklaying? Isn't
it's a front.
Right.
Yeah, it's a scam. You know, it's like the hardware store that does all the money laundering in the back, kind of thing. That's what I think is going on there. So what happens when they do take the world over? Will we all talk German?
I don't think so.
Well, that seems to be the biggest fear. I've heard all kinds of people talking about, sort of hypothetically, if Hitler
as though he were single-handedly out, whatever. But if Hitler had won the Second World War, people, I've never heard anyone say, you know, we would be oppressed, or we wouldn't be free, or we wouldn't be able to drive on the highway. The biggest fear that everyone seemed to have if Hitler won the war was speaking German.
No.
Well, haven't you heard that?
No.
Yeah, geez, if Hitler won the war, we'd all be talking German now. You never heard that?
I don't think so.
I bet some of you folks out there have heard that before.
Maybe.
And if that was the biggest concern... What the heck?
What the hell is it? That's the sink.
What is it doing there? Oh, because the dishwasher's going.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I see. Now, oddly enough, a moment ago, folks, I heard something outside, and I called Lillian and I said, sounds to me like one of those kind of rectangular cork tray things blew onto the ground. And she was quite astounded. Why?
Because you knew exactly what it was, and I knew you didn't know I
Oops,
had
we have wind.
those out here.
What?
I knew you didn't know that I had some of those out here.
I had no
'Cause
idea.
I had flowers in them.
I had no idea.
This is what it sounded like.
Yes, listen to this, folks. This is obviously a... let me see.
Yeah, it should go, I think
It's got to be like that. Yeah. So, folks, this is the sound that I heard. Listen. See? And that is very obviously to me a rectangular cork tray. There's no getting that one by me. I know my rectangular cork trays. Indeed.
Yeah, I mean, you don't hear one every day.
Pardon?
Sure. You don't hear one every day.
You don't hear one. It's a tray you don't meet every day.
No. I don't even know if I've had one of those here before.
Talking in the other direction is not very good for the folkses and the folkettes.
Sorry, folks and folkettes.
Folks and folkettes. Yes. So this is the Absolutely Nothing podcast. This is the show. This is the show that will not make your teeth whiter. Mm-mm. This is the show that will not make you sleep longer, which of course would be that. See, I keep wondering about that. You know, you hear about things that'll make you better in bed, and I mean, like, from what aspect? Like, make you have better dreams, or sleep longer, or what? I don't have any idea what these people are talking about. I'm pretty good myself already, you know. I think I do, except I don't get sleep usually on the weeknights for some reason. I can't sleep very well, so maybe I should try one of these things on the internet.
On the internet?
Yeah, one of those things that they're emailing out all the time to make you better in bed, I think. I should try one. Maybe I get more sleep. One of these pills or whatever. What do you think? Oh, the wind is blowing. I'm sure that must be getting into the microphones. We don't.
Let's go back inside.
We'll go back inside. Yeah, it's nice out here, folks, but it's even nicer inside. It's very breezy. Yeah, I would say breeze in the trees, all that kind of jazz. And I'm in the moment. I'm in the moment. Yes, at the moment am in the midst of downloading a big gob of sound fonts. So big thanks to Rory Hoffman for posting his little presentation, or as some certain people say, presentation. I don't know anybody who talks like that, like really, in real life. Presentation? That's sort of, there's the past and the future and the present. I don't know, but I do hear people say things like that. And I hear people say you know, like, I'll tell you, okay, there's this podcast called Geek News Central. And a really nice guy does that show, really nice guy called Todd Cochran. But he kind of has English adventures quite often, linguistic adventures. And one thing I notice he does, and I've heard other people do it as well, is they'll say something like "a apple." Okay, I've got a apple here. A apple. Yes. I bet you if I put him on right now, he would do that within the first 5 minutes of any show that I put on. You'd hear him say something that begins with a vowel.
Wow.
Yeah.
That that doesn't sound that doesn't sound natural, like a apple.
No.
The reason we have an is so that it'll flow, I think.
For the alliteration.
An apple.
For the same reason why the English, they don't pronounce an R at the end of... Aye!
Are you okay?
Gee whiz. What the hell? Like, I can't tell you. Like, in my head, that was like some kind of absolutely humongously giant spider or something.
Oh my God.
That was okay, folks. I'm okay now. That was Gypsy, our cat.
He's purring into the mic.
Is he purring into the mic?
Yeah.
He's a purpose. Are you a purpose?
I don't know if you'll hear that or not.
Probably not. Anyway, what was I saying? That you interrupted me. Excuse me. A apple and all that. Yes, well, it's we say an apple for the same reason as the English, who don't pronounce their R's. They do pronounce the R if there's a word after it with a vowel that begins with a vowel. You see? Move your vowels daily, lest you become consonanted.
Yes.
So there's that A thing. The other one that really gets me, and I'm hearing some very intelligent people, so-called experts and professors and PhDs being interviewed, they say, what it is, what the heck is that? What it is, or the thing is that it's...
Yeah. What it is that...
What it is that... The thing is that it's...
Yeah.
The thing is that it's... What the heck does that mean?
The thing is that... Yeah,
the thing is that it's...
Common.
Yeah, okay, like today it's breezy?
Uh-huh.
Okay, today it's breezy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the thing is that it's breezy.
The thing is that...
The thing is that it's breezy.
It's just becoming a common...
And everyone, you hear when people are doing it, they kind of stop themselves. They know in the back of their mind that what they're saying is nonsense, that it's not correct grammar or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And they say, well, what it is, they always do that. They don't go, what it is, because it's a stop. You can't, how do you get going after that? It stops you. What it is, you know, you see what I'm saying?
What it is, yeah, exactly.
It's like it's like reaching in and grabbing your own tongue. It stops you.
Uh-huh.
What it is.
What it is.
Yes, what it is stupid.
I think it's like stalling when you don't really
know what you're going to say.
Yeah,
or
maybe.
If you, finishing somebody else's sentence.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what it ain't is.
What it ain't is.
What it isn't. What it
That's
isn't.
like an oxymoron.
What it isn't.
What it ain't is.
What it ain't isn't. Anyway, folks, that's just silliness, really. Please don't say that. Now, of course, our poor dear listeners are going to be hearing that everywhere they go and stopping themselves, catching themselves doing it, and they're going to hear their boss say it, or someone, somebody with a tie or something.
Somebody with a tie?
Yeah.
Okay. Tie one on?
Yes. Don't go puffing into the mic.
Oh, sorry.
We came in to get away from the breeze. We didn't realize you would be bringing your own personal gust.
My own personal gust.
Yes. Oh, now that's it, folks. I was trying to think of another use for that word, and we've just experienced a gust of Lillian.
Yes.
You gonna be okay?
I'm fine.
Okay. Hey, puss. It's amazing what the thing is that and people saying a apple and
something else.
A event.
We're losing our L's.
Well, no, some people are losing their L's.
I'm not losing mine because I have 3 in my name.
That's right. But no, a lot of people in America, I hear them say, instead of saying million or a millionaire, a billionaire, they say millionaire and billionaire.
Yeah.
Like, that guy made $1 million. $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
What's $1 million?
Well, it's I don't know. It's just a theory. I think I've told you before.
You think it's a Spanish thing?
Yeah, maybe it's because they.
It's them darn illegal aliens.
Right.
Hey, there's illegal aliens on the roof.
Johnny, get your gun.
Did you ever like have these? Sometimes, like if I'm here alone at night and I'm watching a movie or something,
Uh-huh.
and I'm sitting on the couch, and all of a sudden I'll get this weird sort of thought in my head of seeing an alien head come up to the kitchen window there.
Oh, yuck. Has it ever happened?
No, never. But
Why do you think it? You're trying to conjure
I
it
have
up.
no idea. Or, aliens up on the roof or something, but...
Yeah, illegal
they would
aliens on the
be-
roof. Juan and Chico and the boys.
I picture them with really long legs. Like in long arms and fingers.
Yeah, and sombreros. Those illegal aliens. Where would
Somebody should draw a picture of that.
if you were from like Beta Reticuli or something? Where would you go to get your papers, or to be citizenized or whatever? What is it they call that? Not normalized. What is it? Absorbed. What's the word for it? Naturalized.
Naturalized?
Yes, that's what they call it when you're.
No.
Oh yeah.
I don't believe it.
Yes, you're being naturalized. You're becoming part of the body. You are submitting to the will of Landrew.
What are you talking about?
I bet you there's folks that. I bet you that's another one. I bet you there's folks.
There's folks?
I bet you there is folks. No, it's I bet you there are folks.
Yes.
You see?
It's proper.
But I hear people do that all the time too. Say there's people in the yard.
There's people.
It's not there's people in the yard. It's there are people in the yard,
There
folks.
are.
There
Yes.
are people. Yeah. There are people in the yard. Not there is people in the yard.
Mhm.
Most certainly. Breath mint.
Do you want some water?
I thought you just went to the store and I was here waiting for you to come back with one of those
Gatorades?
beverages. Yes.
I didn't get one.
Oh, great. Okay, yes, I'll have water.
Okay.
I will have water, folks. Listen to this now.
Okay.
Water. That's another one. Sometimes people who come from certain places, who move into certain more urban places, and they carry some sort of dialect or accent with them, they try to correct themselves, and sometimes they overcorrect themselves. And say, for example, if they used to drop H's from words, they'll start in the process of trying to get the H's back on the words where they belong. They'll actually even then start putting H's on words where it doesn't belong. And have a sip of water here.
Code. What is it? No. What's the one we were thinking of?
Well, say for example, you're growing up in a certain place, and you've been saying BOTH is boat.
Mm-hmm.
You'd say, for example, I don't just want one of them. I want both of them.
Oh yes.
Right?
Okay. Right.
So you go into this urban area where everyone speaks such proper Queen's English and all that,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to get boat and put a th at the end of it. So you say both. But people who do that sometimes go overboard with it, if you'll excuse and pardon the boat little reference there. It was a punt. Yes. Okay. Some nautical jokes there for you. Yeah, so but while putting the TH on both, they will put it on and say, for example, "Oh, yes. Thank you. Good to meet you, Mary. Thank you so much for having me over. Where could I hang my coat?" You see? They'll over-constipate and just say too much
Right.
of TH at the end of words where it doesn't actually belong.
Uh-huh.
And some people say, for example, in French people learning English will do such things. People from rural parts of Newfoundland coming into St. John's will do this.
Mm-hmm.
And J.R. Bob Dobbs has been known to not do it.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Okay.
Praise Bob.
Praise Bob.
Mm-hmm.
So, are we done with nothing?
I don't even think we've gotten started. We've been trying to get around to nothing, but other
This is
things
true.
keep coming up.
Yeah. It's hard to do nothing.
It is.
Very hard.
We're not very good podcasters, I guess.
No. I like to do nothing, but I always end up failing.
You know, there's a certain sort of wisdom to that. There's a certain profound element contained within that. It is the chocolate in the Smartie, or the M&M
Caramel in the caramel bar.
Yes. When you eat your Smarties, do you eat the red ones last?
Yeah.
Do you suck them very slowly, or crunch them very fast?
It's that.
Eat those candy-coated chocolate and tell me when I ask. When you eat your Smarties, do you eat the red ones last? Remember that? Remember the guy in that? There was like a whole row of kids chomping on their Smarties and stuff. But there was one guy who was kind of like the English schoolmaster.
He was brilliant.
Remember him?
Yeah.
Who was he, I wonder?
I love the way he sang that.
When you eat your Smarties, do you eat the red ones last? But he was kind of like a headmaster, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Weren't they? And they were kind of like, English schoolboys or something like that.
I think
they all looked like, a bunch of like sort of Oliver Twist kind of kids.
I think vaguely I remember, but I thought he did a great job.
Yeah.
Singing that.
It's
a classic.
It was very, almost sort of John Cleese-esque.
Yeah, definitely.
Sort of thing.
Definitely.
I do believe.
Yeah.
But that ad, some of you might not remember that, but that was some of you might not even know what Smarties are. Smarties are like M&Ms. They're just little candy-coated bits of chocolate.
Yeah, it was described very well, wasn't it? Candy-coated chocolate.
Yeah.
Round.
Yep.
And
kind of
all different colors.
Kind of like like a thumbtack.
Yeah.
Like two thumbtacks put together without the pointy bit, and then rounded, and then chocolate inside.
Yeah, and there's nothing displeasing about it. Like it's not sickly sweet.
No, it's
or
not
anything,
bad.
Is it? It's
No.
like, I could eat them now.
Smarties, but yes. So for you who don't know what Smarties are, that's what they are, and I'm not sure. If it's kind of like maybe Smarties are sort of Britain and Canada and Australia or something. There are lots. See, not there's lots of things. There are lots of things. There are lots of things that are just strictly everywhere in the English-speaking world, except for the United States. Like the last letter of the alphabet. You guys changed it just because it would make a rhyme at the end of a little song?
No.
I mean, gee whiz.
No.
Come on. The letter Z.
Z.
Yes.
I like Z. It has punch.
I think so. Z.
Z is kind of wimpy, isn't it?
I think Z is very wimpy, yeah. But, then there's that A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z.
I know.
There's that thing that happens. And I think that's why they did it.
I like it, though.
Yeah. Now, why, again, would they say, for example, take a beautiful, nice, shapely-looking word like harbor and turn it into harbor?
Harbor?
Take the O out, take the U out of it. In America, harbor is H-A-R-B-O-R.
Yeah, color is C-O-L-O-R.
And color is C-O-L-O-R.
Yeah.
But everywhere else on the planet, or in the mega Bobiverse, multi-dimensional place, everyone else, it's harbor and color. It's not harbor and color.
Yeah.
And it's Z, not Z.
A lot of people get confused. Like if you're doing a document of some kind, and one person spells it O-U-R,
and something,
and somebody else will proof it and say no, it's O-R. So
and another one that's very unusual. How do you tend to think? Do you tend to think in a like things in order, as in, if you're going in a row, of course you go sequentially. You would tend to think of things going in order. Well, in America, when you're putting a date on something, you mix it all up. They jumble the date.
Okay.
They go month, day, year.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
You see? Month, day, year. So the 10th of June would look like 06 10 2007.
Yeah, that's that can be really confusing. Like if there's no kind of worldwide standard, that's very
Well, there is a
confusing.
worldwide standard.
But this
Except for in America. They just do the opposite of what everybody else does.
But they are
for
the
no
world.
reason, for no gain.
They are the world, aren't they?
They are the world. This is our attempt to say nothing, and
saying an awful lot.
and we're bashing America here. Gee whiz.
We don't mean it, really.
We don't mean it. Sorry. Please take it back. Please take your listening of what we were saying back. Actually, they're guilty of listening.
Yes.
So there, you are infected forever. But
have listened.
But no, seriously, doesn't it just make sense to go, you know, the bigger thing, the medium-sized thing, and the small thing, or the small thing, the medium-sized thing, and the big thing, either which way. So if you see it with the year first or the year at the end, you know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 2007-06-10 means the 10th of June.
Especially now with the internets.
Especially with the internets. And
There should be a standard.
And 10-06-2007 would also mean the 10th of June, not the 6th of October.
Mm-hmm.
You see? It's very confusing.
It is. It can be.
It can be indeed.
Yeah, imagine if you were going to a concert somewhere in the States and you were thinking, you know, it was in June and really it was in October.
You know, I think if they could, they would pass legislation to make the water spin the other way when it goes down the drain. You know? I think they might do that. Just to try to be different. Well, even though those darn Australians and people like that down there, they have the water spinning the other way. Isn't that interesting? Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
It's true.
Really?
You know when you watch the water go down the drain,
Mm-hmm.
it spins what, clockwise here?
Yeah.
Well, on the other side of the planet, it spins counterclockwise.
That's bizarre, isn't it? It does not.
It does.
It does?
Yes.
Wow.
She's not believing me, folks.
Maybe I'm the only person that doesn't know that.
I think this show has kind of gone down the drain.
I think it has.
Which way, though? Which way are we spinning, folks?
Check it out.
I think we're spinning clockwise.
Yeah.
Because...
Oh.
Yes?
Yeah, just imagine how fast we are spinning.
You had a epiphany?
Well, yeah. Well, not really.
Oh, how fast we're spinning. Yes, that's a good one. Anyone who's feeling slightly, you know, like car sick, or, you know, you're on a plane or in a car, and an automobile, and they're kind of feeling very queasy and stuff, and looking very pale and pasty and sweaty palmed and everything. Tell them, you know, not to worry about how fast the car is going, because actually we're on a big hunk of rock in space, like zinging along at like 22,000 miles per second or something.
Yeah, something really outrageously like crazy.
That'll get the nausea over with pretty quickly, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty miraculous, isn't it?
It is. It's all an illusion.
Yeah.
It's an illusion.
Really. So, you know, some of those nights when you might be
some of those nights
having a few bevies and too many, and you go up in your bed and
yes,
you can't sleep, and the room is spinning.
Thinking about how fast the Earth is
Yeah.
moving.
Mm-hmm. Hanging on.
And of course, if you ever sit next to somebody on an aeroplane who's afraid of flying, you tell them that it's only everyone on board's collective belief that this hunk of metal can actually stay up in the sky that's keeping it up there. And then you add, so don't let us down.
Yes.
You see?
No non-believers. They should, you know, have pamphlets at the airport.
Uh-huh.
Should have meditations at the airport before you get on a plane.
Why?
Just kind of get everybody in sync to, you know, their belief system, all that this hunk of metal will stay in the air.
Yeah. Definitely.
I think we've just about done it, haven't we?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's that sound effect, you know, the cartoon sound effect when the plane is just not going anywhere, then it just kind of starts
going toward the ground.
Yeah.
Sputtering. All right, so that was the sound that the show is making right now, and we're going to make another sound, and it's the sound of salutations and well-wishing and waving. It's the big radio wave, you know, the big podcast wave, where we wave at you and you can't see us waving. Correct?
Correct.
But our blind listeners out there can see us waving.
Yes, they can.
Interesting, you know, that blind people can see things that sighted people can't. And blind people are actually always going around naked under their clothing. Did you know that?
Yes, I did, actually, and I think it's phenomenal.
And they get away with it, too.
They do, and it's shocking.
All the sighted people are completely distracted by their exterior garmentry.
And some of them don't even realize.
That's right. What?
No, go ahead.
I could give you a long list of folks that I know from my experience that are going around completely buck naked under their clothes.
Wow. It's scandalous.
It is. What were you just going to say?
I was just going to say that I have 2 movie recommendations.
Okay.
Am I allowed to do that?
You are allowed, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you, so you must be speaking aloud, yes. You are allowed, because I can hear you.
Okay, number 1
is...
him.
Number 1,
Number 1 is Apocalypto by Mel Gibson.
Okay, thank you. What's so funny about that? Apocalypto by Mel Gibson, all right. Yeah, I know you were making a strange face, but only the blind listeners can notice that.
And number 2 is Woody Allen's new movie called Scoop.
Scoop. Where did you see this?
I saw it on video.
What video?
DVD.
Yeah. Like you rented it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and Apocalypto is amazing. But it is very very violent, so just to warn you there, if you're going to go out and you just...
Yes.
Even though the story is amazing,
and
it is very violent.
I have to warn many of our listeners that it is not very useful if you can't read subtitles.
No, that's right. It is.
It's a bit of a bogus recommendation there.
Big time, yeah.
For many folks out there.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. That was
for many of
I completely forgot.
Many of our garment-wearing naked people who are listening.
This is true. Yeah, unfortunately, because it is just such a good movie, and it was so good that I completely forgot, because that didn't even occur to me that I was subtitled.
Hey, I bet you if I said a totally innocuous word like maybe dandelion, and put a beep over it, it would sound like I'm swearing. Like if I said, "Boy, I'd really love to have a..." Okay, no, I don't stop. I'll just say dandelion, then I'll put a beep over it. Okay. Boy, I'd really love to have me a good right now. Hey, how's your... I'll show you my if you show me yours. See? Now what is that, folks?
Let's go eat some
and die. See? That's all it takes, folks. It's the power of suggestion. So be careful when you elect your government and they pass laws, and next thing you've got Big Brother. Bye.
Bye.
Hi, this is Kevin Doucet, and you are with The Roar, Republic of Avalon Radio.
Well, thank you, Kevin, and thanks to all of you for joining us for this episode, number 54 of Republic of Avalon Radio. We hope you've enjoyed your time with us, be you on the Mars colony, the Moon colony, skateboarding, riding your bicycle, on the bus, on the train, on the plane, sitting on your back deck, or lying on the beach. we will catch you next time, because that's it for it. So from myself and Lillian, take care of each other, and we'll catch you next time right here on Republic of Avalon Radio.
A Root Cellar production.